Hi everyone, you have reached Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. For all you out there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. Hit the like button, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. And finally, share my video with your friends and family so that they can come to my channel and get to know me also. I'm here today with a quick video on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and yet again, y'all know how I feel. Nick Cannon is a Nick Cannon update. Well, I'll start with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'm an episode behind, but I finally saw the episode where Erika Girardi goes off, ices out Garcelle. Well, there's a scene in there where, first of all, the ladies are away on the trip, you know, a little good away. And there's a scene where Erika Girardi, however you like to call her, is with Garcelle and two of the other ladies, one of the newer girls in Dorit, okay? So there's a scene and she's talking to them and Garcelle asks her some questions. She asks Erika, you know, did you get this divorce because you knew that, you know, your husband Tom was about to be accused of all of these horrific crimes and was going to be, you know, sued? And, you know, Erika tells her no. And then Erika also shares with the ladies that, you know, Tom has been calling her like every day and she does not respond to his phone calls. Okay, so that's a key part of that particular conversation. But Erika also has said that she doesn't respond because, you know, when the lawyers ask her, she wants to be able to truthfully say that, you know, no, I haven't spoken to Tom since I walked out the door that day and filed for divorce. Okay, so Erika is trying her best to distance herself from Tom, and in addition to that, to try to make the public know or understand that she had no clue as to where this money was coming from and, you know, everything that was going on with Tom. Okay, that in and of itself is debatable. But right now we're going to talk about how she wants to try to freeze out, or she tried to ice out Garcelle. So they go back to the house, the ladies, and Garcelle, you know, brings up the fact that Erika told them that, you know, Tom calls her every day and she doesn't respond to his phone calls or pick up his phone calls. Well, Erika loses it, okay? She loses her stuff. She goes off on Garcelle. She's like, you know, pretty much, you're dirty. How dare you bring this up? You got it out of me earlier. I told you in a private moment between us, and now you want to have your moment and bring this up in front of the ladies. She just acted like Garcelle was the devil for bringing up that her husband calls her every day and she doesn't pick up the phone. First of all, Erika, you have said so much more on this season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Garcelle bringing that up is minimal. It's nothing. And not only that, I could see if you said you told Garcelle this during some private phone call and then she brought it up out of nowhere. You actually told Garcelle with two other ladies on film. Okay? So Erika just does these crocodile tears. She goes off on Garcelle. She gets up, she goes in another room, and she's just boo-hooling, bawling her eyes out as if Garcelle was just so nasty and mean. And like, how could Garcelle bring this up? As I stated, Erika is trying to make the public believe on this season, in my opinion, of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, that, you know, everything that her husband is being accused of, she has no parts in it. I'll tell her this, okay, in case she doesn't know, she's doing a horrible job of trying to convince the public that she has no clue, and her getting pissed off at Garcelle was unwarranted and is crazy. And I believe that the lawyers for the opposing side against her husband, they can have a field day with the footage of this season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And that field day they can have is to bring Erika in on it and take her down right with her husband. Anyway, I think she's messy. I do think they gave her the best name possible, Ice Queen. And then also she kills me how, during the regular scene, she's looking like, no makeup, just a regular around the way girl. But yet every time she does her confessional, she's back to the Erica that we used to seeing, face beat to the gods, outfits just ready for the world. So which one do you want to portray to us, Erica? I mean, I guess you want to try to say when you go on these trips, you no longer have your glam squad like you normally do. But then when you do your confessionals, I guess your glam squad can show up again, and you find the nicest outfits for your confessionals. I don't know. But anyway, I think she's being super, super messy this season. So now, let's move on to Nick Cannon. Well, you gotta love Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon did another interview because he's getting a little heat. He's getting a little heat for having these 4 babies in 1 year, and in addition to that, having a total of 7 children, okay? So he does an interview with 105.1, I believe it is, to yet again try to address his situation and justify it. Well, we all know at the end of the day, you owe no one an explanation about what you do and don't do in your life, and you don't have to justify anything. But I understand because, we're talking about it in the streets. He feels the need to explain to us and let us know that everything that he's doing, it's in agreement with the females that he is doing it with. So I'm going to paraphrase the interview for you a little bit. So what he said in this interview was, 1, he does not believe in the traditional idea of marriage. He feels it's antiquated. Okay, it was that definition was based on centuries ago, and it doesn't fit and apply to our common, day idea of like relationships, at least for him. Okay, and I find it interesting because at some point in his life, either he was lying at that time or he played into the idea of marriage, because he did marry Mariah Carey, and as far as we know, he never cheated on Mariah Carey. So my thing is like, well, Nick, which one are we doing here? Okay, but fine. Maybe after that, and you have this right too, maybe after he married Mariah Carey, that's when he sat back and he thought, you know what? This traditional definition and idea of marriage is not me. I don't believe in it. It's antiquated, and I just like to be, free. And, one woman is not ever going to be something that I want to do. Okay. So he also said in this interview that everything that he's doing, he's not doing this, he has to get permission, like not maybe physical permission, but he said all of these women, they know and understand how he feels about not being married and how he feels about not being with one woman. Let me say this. Do I believe that he perhaps did explain this or tell this to these women? I can believe he probably did, but I can also believe in their head they might have thought, that, them getting with him, it might be different, it might change his mind. But I don't know, I'm not 100% sure that I believe that all of these women were in agreement with just being a part of a tribe, so to speak, and having his baby, and several others having his baby too. I'm not sure I believe that. But you know what? Who knows these days? Because when you agree to that, you're also agreeing that your partner, it's one thing to say you're going to have several partners in your life. And maybe you agree that we're all going to protect each other, with protection, because we're going to have several partners. But when you start talking about you're going to have several partners, and then these other people that you're going to be with, you're apparently not going to use protection when you're with them because they can't get pregnant. Otherwise, at least to my knowledge, they can't. So to agree to be a part of that, I don't know. I would love to speak to one or some of these women to see, like, this is really where you're at right now, that this is what you want. And I don't know who would really truly agree to be a single parent. I don't know, but I mean, this is what he's saying. Listen, go back, go try to Google an interview and hear his words, okay? So pretty much he's saying that all of these women, they're in agreement. They know how I feel. And he said that he makes every single one of the 7 kids events, okay? Well, let's say this. I will say this. The 4 that he just had this year, I mean, how many events and milestones are they really going to have? Because, they're pretty much all newborns in a sense, or toddlers. So he's saying if one of them is in dance, he makes the dance event. If one of them's in karate, he makes the karate event. But my thing is he really, for the 4 that were born this year, you really going to be there for their first step? You're really going to be there for their first word that they speak out their mouth? You're really going to make all of these events? I mean, there are couples that live in a home together, and let's say they have 3 children. They struggle to make all of their kids milestones and events, especially if the kids are close in age, or even if they're not. It's like, okay, this one has basketball tonight and this one has dance. The wife has to go to dance and the husband goes to basketball, or vice versa, and then the couple comes back together at night and just eat dinner together, or somewhere they meet somewhere in the middle. So you, as a dad of 7 that live in different homes, these children, you're able to make every single event and milestone, and you work several jobs, not just one. Okay, he has the Masked Singer, he has Wildin' Out, he's coming out with a talk show. Okay, so and he has his own podcast. I mean, so like I said, there's couples that maybe they each have one job, or maybe they both have, like, one has one job, one has 1.5 jobs, like maybe one has a job and a part-time job, and they struggle to meet all of these events. So you, Nick Cannon, with your at least 3 to 4 jobs and your 7 children across at least, I think 4 households, you're able to make every event and milestone. Well, you're like Superman. God bless you. I don't really think that is possible. I think that he's talking out the side of his neck to justify, what he is doing or has done. I think it's a little bit selfish. And if these women are in agreement, nothing against them, but I would have to say that, don't you want more out of your life? I mean, if you end up by circumstances being a single parent, that's one thing. But if you up front choose that life, it's like, that's crazy. Especially, I think one of them, she already had a child and, was a single parent. So you choose to do it again? I just can't imagine her really choosing that path. But again, we would have to, speak to one of them to see. But he says in the interview that these women, are in agreement and understand and knows his stance on marriage and just being with one woman. He said he just can't fathom that, and I'm paraphrasing, he can't fathom just being with one woman the rest of his life. So if he comes across another young lady that he likes and, she wants to have his baby, does he not at some point say, you know what, okay, I'll be with maybe 5 more women, but I'm not going to, put my seed in 5 more women? Is there not a limit? Does he not stop somewhere? Anyway, the Nick Cannon saga continues. Every time he opens his mouth and tries to explain, his or justify the situation, to me is still insanely crazy. And if I was a young female that even had access to Nick Cannon, I don't care how charming he is or whatever, I would run in the opposite direction. There is no way I would become baby mama number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 3, or whatever. There's just no way on this earth. And it's not just about the money when it comes to raising kids, but I guess he called himself addressing that, by saying he makes every single event for all of them. Anyway, guys, chat with me in the comments. Let me know how you feel about these two situations. Let me know how you feel about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and Erica trying to ice out Garcelle, and Nick Cannon explaining his team that he is building across several women. Anyway, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.